You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I would rather be dead.
Hello and welcome to our Healthy Longevity Workshop. My name is Alf Patron and I'm 65 years young. Today I'm speaking to you from the city of Madrid in Spain, and I have the honor to be the host of the call. And it's going to be a great call because you're all here. We're also going to be hearing and learning from some very valuable information from our great speakers. Our first speaker, Dr. Luigi, will present statistics on the aging population and the significant demographic shift in our society. This presents an enormous financial opportunity and a social responsibility. As people reach 50 and beyond, many of our body functions change and our needs also change. We want to present specific ways so you can reduce the effects of aging and the steps you can take to preserve and protect your body and your mind as you age. So, with all of you, let's hear from our very first speaker, Dr. Luigi. Over to you, Dr. Luigi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Luigi Groton. I have this wonderful opportunity to travel around the world, many different countries, and talk about the principles of health and nutrition. Today, I'm in Los Angeles, California, which is my home, and I hope that you are enjoying this incredible talk on healthy aging. I'm going to give you a little bit of my background first. I'm a family medicine doctor, although I started here in Los Angeles, California, one of the local universities, University of California, Los Angeles, where I studied human physiology. After that, I did a master's in public health at the same university. It's called UCLA. And then I went on to medical school in New York, where I studied medicine 4 years at the Carl Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, big hospital in the middle of New York City. Came back to California, did a family medicine residency with the county, and I also did what's called a postdoctoral fellowship. So I got board certified in 2 disciplines, in family medicine and in clinical nutrition. When I was much younger, I'm 56 years old now, but when I was much younger, I ran track and cross country. I was quite the varsity athlete at UCLA for about 3 years in each sport. And I mention that because I was really interested in how nutrition affects human performance. After that, I really got interested in how people with chronic diseases, whether it's obesity, overweight, diabetes, high blood pressure, how we can treat or avoid a lot of those conditions with good nutrition. So I really love talking about this. I'm going to speak for about 10 minutes on the principles of nutrition and healthy aging. Really, the topics that I'm going to cover focus in on some of the issues with aging, and we're talking about 65 and up. As we hit 80s, 90s, even 100, how we lose muscle mass, how we need fiber, how we need hydration, healthy fats, and how a lot of the things that happen when we age can be sort of like, let's say, prevented, or we can slow the process with good physical activity, good nutrition, sleep, and of course, being plugged into a community. After me, or some of the other speakers who may not be physicians, we'll probably be talking about some of the products or nutrients in products that are provided. And then some folks may talk about communities, how to get together and get plugged in. So I'll talk about some of the issues that happen with aging. I'm going to share some of the slides that I have. I think I have about 10 slides or less. Bear with me here while I share my screen. And I hope that you enjoy this. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, so there's my training. Full disclosure, I've been working in the nutrition industry for about 21 years now. And I'm the chairman of a medical advisory board. We have doctors all around the world that do the same thing, talking about the principles of health and nutrition. There's a lot of the company, or I should say, There's a lot of the universities and training that I was at, as I mentioned, UCLA and Carl Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. And all that to say that I really love talking about nutrition as it relates to healthy aging. So the definition of aging is really defined by physical, cognitive, and mental health with ongoing social engagement. That's what we want for everyone to do as they age. We want them to be connected with someone socially or a group, whether it's family, friends, a community, a club, and then of course being physically active, which seems like a no-brainer, right? Of course you're supposed to get up and brush your teeth and go for a walk, but a lot of folks aren't able to perform those what we call activities of daily living. Then of course there's the cognitive aspect. People may get older, they'll forget their keys, they may not know how to do their own finances very well, and they rely on family members, but that's really not normal. Cognition should continue to be sort of like functional. So we want to talk about some things that can help support that. And of course, mental health is important. And a lot of that really boils down to what you probably hear in social media: muscle mass and functional ability. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll see two curves on that yellow slide. And the top curve is kind of really the inevitable loss of muscle that happens as we age. And that really happens, I should say, it peaks at the age of 25. That's when we have the most muscle and bone health, when we're about 25 to 30. And then with every human being, doesn't matter where you are on the planet, there's an inevitable loss of muscle. And it's almost like every night or every month, I'd say, every week, a thief is coming and stealing a tiny bit of your muscle. And you can't help it. It's a natural part of aging. But we can slow the process. If you see those two curves, the lower curve is a significant drop-off that we see after the age of 30, when we go 40, 50, I'm in my mid 50s now. And as I approach 60 and 70, there's going to be a significant drop-off. So what do we need to do? We need to exercise a lot more. We need to have more protein, more fiber, more vitamins and minerals, and more nutrients, so we can kind of compensate and help fight this inevitable loss that happens, okay? Next slide. There's plenty of research that shows, if you look at long-term studies like the Framingham Heart Study, not only are they looking at cardiovascular changes, but they look at muscle mass and functional activity. And what we've seen is that people, especially older adults, okay, I'm talking 65 and older, if they're eating a little bit more muscle, because remember, as you get older, you start to lose your appetite. A lot of folks just don't feel like they're very hungry or thirsty because the thirst mechanisms and the mechanisms for appetite are blunted as we get older. So we need to be very conscious and have more of those nutrients in a very sort of like cognizant way. Intentional is the word I would use. So higher protein intake was really associated with maintenance of physical function in middle-aged, high-functioning US adults. So this is really good news, because especially in women, because women lose a lot of their lean muscle mass. Well, how does this work? Well, when you eat nutrients like protein, it gets broken down into amino acids, it gets absorbed in your intestine, and then those amino acids go into different tissues. Not only your skeletal muscle or your heart muscle, but all the cells in your body, your red blood cells and white blood cells, your skin, hair, teeth, everything is made up of protein components. And so it's really essential. And the reason why I'm focusing on protein is because it's so important for lean muscle mass. So all the organs in the body really rely on protein. We can't just breathe air, drink water, and absorb protein. So we've got to make sure that we're having good, nutritious sources of protein. Now, one of the things that recently, I live here in the United States, our current political administration has sort of put forth new guidelines on protein, which actually is much significantly higher than the government minimum. That's good news for us. You know, we're keeping the politics out of everything, but good news for us is that a lot of the recommendations for protein have gone a little higher. And it's really well understood now that even if you're older, you can have sufficient amounts of protein, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you look at the curve on the left, you'll see these three green bars: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is where we know we want you to get about 20 to 30 grams at each of those meals. What happens when you get about 20 to 30 grams? Well, you're getting a significant amount of protein, which is good. You're also getting a significant amount of particular amino acids. One of them is called leucine, and we think this is the key amino acid that sort of unlocks what we call your muscle building metabolism. And that's good because we want to make sure that you can continue to keep the lean muscle mass that you have and all that healthy organ tissue. What often happens, whether it doesn't matter which country you are, if you're in the UK, Italy, Spain, Greece, wherever you may be throughout Europe or the Middle East or Africa, we know that a lot of folks tend to skew low with their protein in breakfast, and then they ramp up during the day and they have a big high protein lunch or dinner. We'd like to see more distribution throughout the day, and that's what we try and promote. And that may be with a smoothie in the morning, a meal replacement shake, or a protein bar or snack, whatever you do throughout the day to get more protein. Now, why is this so important as we're aging? Well, we worry about what we call the ADLs. When I worked in clinical medicine in the hospital, the first thing I would ask an older individual if they come in is, how do you function at home? Can you feed yourself? Can you get dressed? Do you have difficulty washing? How about using the bathroom? Do you need assistance? This may seem like very basic things. If you're tuned into this call, you're like, yeah, of course I can do that. But a lot of folks have challenges being able to be mobile, transferring themselves from bed to the shower, getting dressed, balancing their checkbook, cooking. And if people can't do these things on their own, they rely on other folks, then it's very difficult to have control over their diet or their physical activity or their sleep. So we want to make sure we can keep people functional, keep them doing their ADLs. And of course, if they need assistance, then we can help support with that as well. Okay. Now, I have a few more slides and I want to talk about why it's so important. We know that nutrition is important. I'm going to break it down into just a few component parts. We know physical activity is really important as you age because you don't want to lose that muscle mass that we showed on those graphs. And one of the most important things we're finding is community. If you can get plugged into any type of community, whether it's your family, your friends, your church, a club, a school, if you're taking classes at the community college, anything that you're doing, or maybe you're mentoring younger folks, and that's the community that you're plugged into. If you can do that, it has been shown very powerfully to help offset any cognitive benefits, dementia, all those things that we see, because when you're staying plugged in, you're flexing your brain muscle, if you will, and you're staying sort of socially plugged in. Okay, so this is what it really boils down to on one slide. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll notice the typical modern diet, which we call the Western diet. And it doesn't matter if you live in the West or the East, wherever it's considered your home. The fact of the matter is food has become very modernized. It's processed. Unless you're living on a farm and you're an organic farmer and you're eating your own food, which is great, most people are facing the challenges of the Western diet, which is high fats, sugars, and salts. It's very straightforward. There's lots of processing of meats, whether they're hot dogs, hamburgers, processed meats, low fiber, low antioxidants, and unhealthy types of fats. Lots of polyunsaturated fats that are chemically modified because it's very good for the shelf life. Okay, on the right side, this is what we want you to focus in on. This is what we call our global nutrition philosophy, making sure that you get healthy protein sources, like we talked about, lean cuts of red meat or soy-based or plant-based quinoa, rice, peas, whatever you blend up together to get your protein, great. If you want to do a shake, even better. If you want to have a protein snack, great. Just make sure you're hitting your protein number. Lots of plant-based sources. I like steak, but you don't have to eat meat if you don't want to. You can have a wide variety of plants to get your protein. Limiting your added sugars, having high fiber, and having lots of plant nutrients. Those are what we call the colorful fruits and vegetables. Those are phytonutrients. Those are the chemicals, natural plant botanical chemicals, the red pigment in tomatoes or the blue pigment in berries. Those have these really cool natural nutrients in them, which help support the body. And of course, polyunsaturated fats, whether they be fish, flax, whatever you like to do. Okay. Here's the example of a meal plan. I just want to show you what we often do in terms of making recommendations. Because a lot of people say, look, easy for you to say, you have access to all these different types of foods and supplements. What do I do if I'm getting started? Well, I've been doing for 30 years is I rely heavily on a smoothie or a meal replacement shake. These are great because you can really control the amount of calories, the protein, the fiber, and anything you want to put in there. My wife and I load up our smoothies in the morning with greens, walnuts. We mix them with water and we put extra protein in. And our kids love them because we can sweeten them up with lots of different things, berries and pineapple. And you get fiber and those plant nutrients that I talked about. And then Now I like to have at least 2 of those per day, believe it or not, because they give me at least 20 to 30 grams of protein. And remember, you want to get that 20 to 30 gram of protein number, get the leucine amino acid, which is the key that unlocks the mechanisms to keeping your muscle mass intact. And kind of course, most people at dinner time are enjoying some type of protein-rich dinner. It's pretty typical. So if you're not doing that, if you're not having 2 shakes, maybe you'd want to have 1, or you can have yogurt or a Mueslix breakfast meal, and you can mix in different types of things. But the important thing is make sure you hit your numbers, okay? So nutrition really comes down to a variety of things. Having your wide variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. We recommend 5 per day here in the United States. Most likely throughout Europe, it's also a minimum of 5. A lot of countries may push up to 7. And we know not only is it the fiber, but it's the fact that when you eat that fiber, it's keeping you regular, so you go to the bathroom. It's also feeding the healthy bacteria in your gut called the microbiome. And that's really important, which is a very powerful antioxidant mechanism. And of course, it's also getting those botanical nutrients we talked about. Healthy fats are important. Fats used to be vilified when I was younger in school. Now we recognize that fats are really important for the brain, the eyes, the nervous system, everything. Protein we covered, fiber we just talked about, and vitamins and minerals, especially vitamin B12 and calcium, because as we age, we lose the ability to absorb some of those nutrients. Stomach acid is not as potent, so you need to make sure you get those in the body. Okay, exercise. I know a lot of folks don't like to talk about it, but strengthening, basic endurance exercise, it really comes down to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. We usually say 150 minutes a week. Seems like a lot, but even if you're going for a stroll, if it's raining in your town, go to the local mall, get a cup of tea or coffee and simply walk around. Just move, get 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and you're going to be good. Now, if you can do yoga, Pilates, isometric exercises in your home, or if you can get to the gym and do some resistance training, fantastic. That's going to challenge your muscle tissue and your heart and your brain, believe it or not, and you'll come out stronger and better, okay? So we really call this supporting your best life. And I really want to talk not only about the nutrition, and you'll probably have some other folks on this call talking about the community, getting plugged into folks who not only can help you with your nutrition, but who can sort of help you with a community, whether it's just talking and meeting and being inspired and motivated. I think it's great. So this is really what healthy aging is about for me. Being part of some type of community where you feel like you're needed, you can wake up and chat with folks, or if you're sort of a loner and you want a lifeline, you want to reach out to someone, you have someone in the community that you can actually talk to. It's really clear that meaningful relationships and a sense of purpose are really strong predictors of health and happiness. And some of you might say, I don't really care about being happy all the time. Well, that's okay. We just want you to live a long, healthy life, okay? So that's been evident in the decades-long Harvard study of adult development. Being part of a supportive community is really key. So obviously, I love talking about the nutrition and the exercise and the sleep, but being part of a healthy community is important. Last slide I'm going to show you is if you do use supplementation, and this is the area that I love working in because I've worked at a company where we help design the products and we get them verified and we get them tested. We're a little bit obsessive with testing some of our products because we want to make sure that they're super clean. They have no excipients, unwanted ingredients, and there's a lot of third-party testing. So you don't have to rely on the company that you're buying from. You can use the third-party test agencies like NSF or Informed Sport or BSCG or Friends of the Sea or gluten-free or halal or kosher, low glycemic index. All these certifications mean that the company that you buy from has to pay a third party independent, and that independent third party is testing. So look for those things on your labels if you're using supplementation. I think it's really important. Okay, so let me stop sharing that. And hopefully you enjoyed that slides. And I'm going to wrap this up, but I just want to point out what we get really excited about the growth rate of people who are 65 years and older. Again, I'm 56, so I'm coming up on those years where I got to start thinking about a lot more about healthy aging. I try and start early, but it's been shown that people who are over 65 years of age, that population is growing 17 times more than the folks who are younger than 65. There is a tremendous amount of people who are aging. The fact of the matter is a lot of folks, especially throughout Europe, Middle East, and Africa, are not having as many kids as they had maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago. So that's the reality. The proportion of people are living longer, getting older. We want people to age well, gracefully, but there's not as many people at the other end of the spectrum. And so the proportion is much bigger. That's a big story. We know currently that it's growing to the point where in 2040, we believe well over 20%, might be about 22, 23% of the population where you live is going to be over the age of 65. That's a lot of people. So we talk about the care economy, how a lot of folks are going to need people to help support them if they don't have family members. They're going to need nurses, physical therapists. So we'd like to avoid all that, make sure they get plugged in with some type of support. And if they can have good nutrition, physical activity, get their 8 hours of sleep, more or less, then they're going to be doing very well, and they're going to stave off a lot of these inevitable losses, whether it's muscle, brain functioning, cardiovascular health, skin, bones, teeth, hair, nails, all those things that we think of that are essential. Other thing that I wanted to mention is the life expectancy is getting longer, okay? If you look at this typical 65-year-old, right now the life expectancy where you live is probably at least 20 years from 65. So 19 to 20 years, that's amazing. That's extended, that life expectancy has extended significantly. So we know that folks are living well into the 80s, and now we're thinking the next frontier, 90 and 100, because we look at the number of people over 100, the centenarians, and we know that has doubled since the 1980s up to 2022. That's amazing. Twice the number of people in just 20 to 25 years who were 100 years and older. That's huge. So people are living longer, healthier, more cognition, stronger muscles, better cardiovascular health, and all those things we talked about: skin, hair, nails, teeth. Okay, so that's all really I wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to pass on to our next speaker, but I do want to thank you for your participation. Again, my name is Dr. Luigi Groton, family medicine doctor. In full disclosure, I've been working with Herbalife for about 21 years in many different capacities. I'm the chairman of the Nutrition Advisory Board. I oversee a group of global advisors of doctors, dietitians, and fitness advisors, even some beauty advisors. And we cover this global advisory board to help promote these principles of health and nutrition in many different countries. So I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, the talk. Hopefully one day we can have some of these in person, but I do hope that you've enjoyed this, and I really want to thank you for your participation in this seminar. So take great care, and I wish you all the best of health. Take care.
Thank you very much, Dr. Luigi. That was absolutely extremely valuable for all of us. I'm sure you agree with me. Now we're going to move to our second speaker, and it's a great honor for me. This is a friend, someone I've known for many years, Amartad Cohen. He's 80 years young, and he's going to be focusing on mindset and how you can improve your mindset and take advantage of all of what we have to offer. He's been a wellness coach for 37 years, and he's already helped over 200,000 people. Over to you, Amartad.
Thank you, Alf. Really, it's so great to be here with you and all the people who are tuning in from all over the world, actually, because this broadcast is going to be done in many languages. And I'm so excited because this healthy longevity workshop concept really is there to help so many people find out what they can do personally to work on their own, what we call lifespan. So let me share my screen with you a little bit, and thank you, Dr. Luigi, also amazing, all the things that we learn about what happens as we age. I personally learned from my own experience, right, being 82 years old. So I'll share a little bit of some of the tips and secrets that I found that are helpful to me. So I'm going to share my screen with you just for a moment here. And let's do this. Okay, perfect. So, question for you. What do you want for the next 40 years of your life to be like? Now, some of you say, well, yeah, I'm 40, maybe I'll make it to 90, right? If you're 50, that means 100. If you're 60, if you're 60, that's 100. My math not good. If you're 70, that's 110. If you're 80 like me, that's 120. So, but what's important is that many of you, probably most of you on this line, have the great option and to look forward to the next 40 years, 30 to 40 years of your life. What do you want that to be like? Do you want to be retired? Do you want to go on vacations and read books? At some point, maybe there's something else you need. And what do you need to do to get to live as long as possible? Okay, and that's something we call lifespan. That's the number of years you live, but to get to that, you have to have ever rising, ever improved health span. So what is the difference between health span and lifespan? Lifespan is basically the longer you live. Health span is the quality of life that you have in good health with energy and mobility, independence. And there's this very interesting book written by David Sinclair. We're on the cusp of upending every idea that we've had about what it means to age. It's not unreasonable to expect anyone who's alive and healthy today to reach 100 in good health at levels we'd expect a 50-year-old to have today. And if cellular reprogramming and all the other things that are happening with science and our own knowledge of taking care of ourselves reaches its potential by century's end, 150 may not be out of reach. Can you imagine our future when 100 is the norm? And what are you going to do? What's your part in that, and how do you get there? Well, first of all, you say, Amartai, you're 82, you must have picked the right parents. Well, honestly speaking, I'm older than either of my parents when they passed, and they all didn't have nearly as good a health as I have because of choices that I've made. The scientists tell us that only 30% of mortality comes from genetics. All the rest of these things are your choices, or my choices. What we can do to have a better diet, a better shape, take care of our bodies, cardiovascular, so we don't get metabolic syndrome and diabetes. A lot of these things are preventable. But the most important thing to change what we are and what we have is what we call mindset. Mindset is how we respond to change. It's the mind that makes the decisions for us. And if you're a fixed mindset, which sadly to say most people are, they're resistant to change. They look at things negatively. I'm getting older, it's downhill, right? Or something's not going to work out. We're so preconditioned to thinking about the negative ways that things happen rather than seeing the opportunities and the positive things. So growth mindset is the way to counteract that. Oh, I'm still learning and growing. Oh, this happened to me. What's the opportunity here? What do I want to focus on instead of just, oh, woe is me, it's horrible, and what's going to happen, right? Aging is not lost, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. And I've taken this, I don't care what your age is. If you're on this call, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're older. We're all aging, right? And there's these certain ways of working with our mindset. You need to start as early as possible and retrain yourself so that you can deal with the challenges that come up. And nothing will change until your mindset changes. You can see once you get your mindset change, it changes your decisions, the outcome. A different mindset leads to different outcome. So I'm going to go through some of the challenges that happen. Some of these I've been able to avoid or lessen the effect of. Physical changes, there's no way that you can avoid that. The body is going to go through its natural aging process at different rates for different people, and a lot of the things that we do that we're going to suggest on this call will make you have better lifespan, which means more life in your year, better health span, sorry, which means more life in your years, not necessarily just more years. You don't want to, live to an age where you're not functional and active if possible. So physical changes, sorry to say, they happen. A lot's happened to me in my life. I did have prostate cancer. I'm now cancer-free. I've had 2 operations on my shoulders. This was just a few months ago, and right now I'm dealing with the rehabilitation of my shoulder. You can't see it because of the screen behind me, but it's painful. And how do I deal with these changes? You have to accept. Okay, that's my situation. Now I'm going to adapt to that change. It takes me longer to do everything now than it did before. I need more sleep than I did before. So I have to adapt and change my schedule every day. And one of the best things to get through these changes in life is what I call sense of humor. My left shoulder.
It's gonna be fine.
You have to learn how to change those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Think about something horrible that happened to you. I'm sorry if something horrible happened, but it happens to all of us. Think of something, maybe you got into an accident, maybe you lost your glasses or your wallet. That happens to me a lot. And so what's the first thought that goes into your mind? Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, don't blame yourself. Think about, oh my gosh, take a minute now and breathe. It's all right. I can accept that. What can I make of this that's going to be positive? That's what a growth mindset does. And so the basis of making all these changes is what we call mental hygiene. It's just like you take a bath or a shower quite often to cleanse the outside of the body. What are you doing to cleanse your mind? What are you doing to find that centered spot in yourself where everything can be all right? And so one of the best ways is gratitude. I know sometimes when something happens to me and I start getting those negative thoughts, that fixed mindset, I think about all the blessings that I have, all the great people that I've met, and the fact that I'm breathing right now, able to talk to you. It's great gratitude to have that. You can start your morning with gratitude any time in the day that it comes. And if you want to really train your mindset, then you need to practice. You need to practice something regularly, whether it's journaling, mindfulness, meditation, or prayer, or just taking a moment in nature to yourself as much as possible. This is what you need to do. You have to retrain your minds to think positively, to find the solution when a problem comes up. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes there are no solutions. You just have to accept it and then adapt to whatever happens. That's what you can do to have a much better lifespan while you're all the years that you're alive. They even say that if you have a positive view of aging, people will live extra years. It's been shown just by your attitude makes a big difference. And loneliness now is a huge problem among the elder generation. If you have parents, if you yourself are finding yourself alone, be active. Find some other groups that are supportive. There are many types of groups around, or go to a charity, volunteer, do something useful. Fortunately for me, I've been part of this wonderful community, helping other people with their health, and they're even helping them get extra income, because most people, when they get older, unfortunately may run out of money before they run out of lifespan. So stay socially connected, find a community to inspire you, and then physical activity. Every doctor who will talk about longevity, every expert who talks about longevity says the most important thing, that if you had to pick just one thing, is getting movement and exercise really daily. Last night I had to force myself to go out at the park at 9 at night to walk around the park and finish. I have an iWatch. I have to finish my circles every day, walk around the park and get that mobility. Just 15 minutes a day is 45% less heart attacks. And if you're not very mobile, you can join with fitness exercises, doing it in the chair. There's always options, but you have to train yourself and take that step to do it. And the most important thing, I believe, for all of us, if we want to have really an exciting years of our life. I'm excited in my years in my 80s. I hope I make it to the 90s and 100s, because there's so much that we can do now with our knowledge to give back to society. And that sense of purpose probably is the main reason I think that I look and act the way I am at 82, because I feel like I'm here to help people. I've found, fortunately, an avenue to do that, to help people with their health and with taking care of themselves, so not to be dependent on their children. How many people can you help to have new hope, to have a new vision in life, a new purpose in life? That's what you should be focusing on now in all the years that you have left. And it just gives you the best feeling in the world to be able to help and feel contributing to the world. And the other thing, I left out one other picture, so I don't know if I can go back to that, because it's a lovely picture of me being active lifestyle because of the nutrition that I take every day. Every day for 38 years, I'm taking supplements because I eat a healthy diet, but I need more protein that I can't just get unless I eat a lot of meat. And all sorts of great things like Dr. Luigi talked about. You're going to learn in the next few minutes a lot of ways that you can take care of yourself, just like I have for the last 38 years, with some great products that are coming from the company Herbalife. So it's my great pleasure now to introduce actually an expert in functional products, in the products to help with longevity. She's been actually using these products for 31 years, and you can't believe it. She looks incredible. She's 64. Well, I shouldn't tell someone's age, but I will. Because we're proud of our age, right? She's 64 years young. She's done trainings for thousands and thousands of people, and she definitely has a growth mindset. So just remember this last thing: age is nothing, attitude is everything. Let me introduce with great pleasure, Jane Clark from the UK.
Thank you so much, Amitat, for that lovely introduction, and welcome. I'm actually at home in the UK, and today it's a nice sunny warm day. I know everybody thinks it rains all the time in the UK, and you're right actually, but today is a good day. So I'm really excited, and Amitat said about being grateful. I'm really grateful to be able to share a little bit about the products and a little bit about my story, my health story, over the 31 years that I've actually been in Herbalife and eating these incredible products. Dr. Luigi spoke all about the changes our body goes through as we age, and oh boy, have I noticed going from my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s into my 60s, the changes. the menopause for me was pretty brutal. But I've got to be honest with you, by getting the good nutrition inside of my body, getting my protein and exercising, keeping hydrated, and I didn't sail through it, but it could have been a lot worse. So I'm really grateful. I lost 19 pounds, dropped 2 dress sizes on the products, and I feel absolutely amazing. As Amitat said, I'm 65. Oh, last year I had a new hip in September, and I'm out back, training 4 times a week, walking my little sausage dogs, which I'm a little bit concerned that they might start kicking off in a minute, but bear with me. But, and when I look at my physical shape and my strength, it doesn't come from not taking care of myself. I understand the importance of, I need a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of vitamins and minerals, and I know the importance of taking care of myself, okay, making sure that I drink water, that I rest, okay, and I've been sort of learning, and I'm still learning 31 years down the road, because with everything that's changing in the world, we learn new things, and the products today are very different to the products we were taking 31 years ago. But do you know what? They were fantastic then, and now they're unbelievable. Trust me, they taste amazing. So what I'd like to do is really go through just a longevity, or an ideal breakfast longevity package, okay? And we call it a healthy breakfast. And in 31 years, all right, this is how I start my day. It's a protein shake, and a lot of people say, oh, shakes. No, it's a smoothie. You don't have to drink it. You can mix it with yogurt. You can have it in water with a protein drink, with a PDM, which is a protein drink mix. So you can mix it. You can put berries in it. I always say to people, what's your favorite ice cream? And they'll say strawberry. Fantastic. Icy cold water, frozen or fresh strawberries. Put the strawberry in, put the BD in, blend it, and oh my goodness me, you will not believe the taste of this delicious smoothie, okay? Along that, Luigi talks about hydration. It's really important we keep ourselves hydrated. All those lovely cells that we've got, they need hydration, and they need to be kept plump. Okay, so the aloe, you can have the aloe max or the mango. My favorite, I do have a sweet tooth, is the mango, and that with some icy water in the morning. Fantastic. That's the first thing that I will drink when I get up in the morning, and then I will follow it with a tea, the beverage. Okay, people say, oh, I don't like tea. It's not like anything you've ever tried before. Do you know what? I like the original. It does come in different flavors, but for me, the original is delicious, okay? It's going to help with your vitality, with focus, and just that little healthy breakfast package will set you up for the day. And, I always find by having my shake in the morning, or my smoothie in the morning, my appetite, it sustains my appetite well over to lunchtime. So I'm not picking and choosing all the unhealthy snacks that we tend to do. Before Herbalife, I used to be a rep. I used to be in the car. I used to pop into the petrol stations, and I used to buy chocolate. And I tell you, by the time I'd actually sort of gone 2 miles down the road, or say 3 kilometers down the road, I'd eaten about 4 bars of chocolate. And I don't think there were any teeth marks in it. It just went in, all right? Because my body was just craving sweetness and naughty, salty snacks. So if I can give you any advice at all right, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I really need to reevaluate my process, my daily activities of what to eat, then this is the best breakfast you will ever put into your body. Okay, you will feel amazing. You'll have that sparkle in your eye and that spring in your step, and you will definitely notice a huge difference in your energy levels. But longevity, we need other products to sustain good health. And do you know what? I never ever get a cold if I get anything that's a little sniffle, I'm never sick. And as I say, you know, you see people around you dropping like flies, but I'm never ill, okay? I don't, and that feeling of waking up every morning, feeling well, Amatak commented on it. It's that feeling of well, not waking up feeling sluggish and tired, that you haven't got the energy to put into the day. So, you know, looking at other products, okay, that we have, you know, Luigi talked about the cardiovascular system and the mind. Amatat covered the mind. We have products for the mind, Active Mind, fabulous product. Okay, I pop a couple in the morning with my shake. You know, and again, it keeps that focus and alertness. It's great. That's what it does for me. Obviously, everybody is different, and the only thing I can say is try them. All right, and if you like them, great. Continue to take them, okay? And you know, and the cardiovascular system, you know, Nightworks is the most unbelievable product. And at night, okay, it's a great nighttime drink, and it helps you rest. I do dream a little bit on it, which is rather nice actually. But you know, a scoop in a mug of hot water, okay, and you can sip at it at leisure, and know that you're protecting your body against all the stresses and strains of everyday life. And again, alongside Nightworks, you have the Herbalife Line Max. Again, it's fantastic. I find it's great for my joints, okay? And I'm only talking from experience. And it's very good for the cardiovascular system as well. So fiber, Luigi touched on fiber. Again, you know, we need to keep ourselves regular. We need good fiber in our diet, and really that whole package. Oh, mustn't forget the collagen. As we get older, we all know about a wrinkle or two. Do you know what? I'll take one or two wrinkles for the team, actually, to reach 64. I'm proud that I reached 64. My mother passed away at 62. So I'm always grateful. Every time I get another year, I'm always very grateful that I've actually been able to tick another year off on my list, okay? But the collagen, what a fabulous product. If you want to beat those wrinkles, get it down you. It's strawberry flavor. It tastes absolutely delicious, okay? And again, all these products that you're going to be taking with water, all right, it's all going to be hydration for you as well. So, and it's got a lovely strawberry flavor, really tasty. So, so guys, you know, whoever invited you to this call, sit down and ask them to go through a little wellness evaluation with you to work out areas that you want to address, okay? Start yourself on the healthy breakfast, okay? That will be a great way to start your day and lead you on to the other products as well. Also, when you're speaking to the person that invited you to this call, ask them about the member benefits. You know, we only want you to pay full price once, but take advantage of the member benefits, okay? You start getting 25% off your products, and the more products you eat, it's a bit like a club card. You collect points. You go from 25% and you can work your way up to 50% of the products. And that is a great way of being able to introduce other products into your program as well. So I wish you all the best, okay? I know that from this video, you're really going to take action, okay? But before I pass you back to Alf, who's doing an incredible job of keeping us all on track, I'd like to hand you over to a beautiful lady who started in Herbalife at the age of 64. She started at my age, and she's 93 today. And her name is Dawn Sanford, and she's from the UK, and she's going to just tell you her testimonial. So I wish you all the very best, and as I say, I'll hand you to Dawn, and then we'll go back to Alf. Take care. Nice to see you. Bye.
Great. That was absolutely fantastic. All I can say is thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Jane. And what a story of Dawn. It reminds me of my mom. I'm really proud because my mom is 90. And most people, when they reach that age, they're not independent. They need tremendous amount of help, tremendous amount of looking after. And me being able to provide that health, long lifespan possibility through good nutrition on a daily basis makes me extremely happy. If you listen carefully to what Amitat said, I mean, what a leader, what an example. Very simple attitude. That attitude makes the whole difference. And then he touched on something that I really want you to get it. It's your responsibility. You can do something about it. And we've got the tools to help you. We heard from Jane. What a story. Isn't she looking amazing? She's taking care of herself. And I hope you took good notes because we've got a range of products that we can help you with. I remember when I first heard about the possibility of looking after myself. I used to train horses and used to look after them, but I didn't look after myself. And I was always tired. And once I got my wellness evaluation and I was thinking maybe it's not for me, it really made the difference. And today I have tremendous energy and I travel all over the world like you just heard. I very, very rarely get sick. I've had tremendous energy, great sleep. So I hope you're taking good notes because this is just the beginning. Now, let's move on to our very next speaker. And you're going to love this. You know, this is a lady. She's 69 years young. And she's been a wellness, long, healthy lifespan coach for 35 years now, and she's doing a fantastic job because she's focusing on the seniors. She's helping tremendous amount of seniors to find new sources of income so they become independent, but most importantly, she's helping them find purpose, which is even more important than the income. So let's hear from Mickey Prima over in France. Over to you, Mickey.
Thank you. Thank you, Half. And I agree. After 36 years, you always with the same shape, the same energy, and you look so young, Half. Thank you. For me, it all started 35 years ago with our fabulous Herbalife longevity breakfast. At that time, I was a high school mathematics teacher, and coming out of my third pregnancy, tired, not in a base shape, and always with no energy. The nutritional program allowed me to adopt better eating habits. And little by little, I regained my fitness, my energy, my figure, and my smile. And quickly, people around me started asking me what I was doing. At that time, one person made a big difference for me. Her name was Micheline, and at 75, she was still training on nutrition. And she used to tell me, the food choice you make today will shape the persons you will be in 10, 50, and 20 years. 35 years later, I fully confirm the truth of her words. But beyond myself, my greatest satisfaction is having brought my whole family, mother, husband, children, grandchildren, in these good eating habits. And if life offers me the opportunity to go far, I want to do it like Habitat, with full vitality, with a flexible body, and in complete freedom. And that is precisely the point of our conversation this evening. No later, now. Longevity isn't for later. It starts in our 40s. Longevity is an investment, and what you do now shapes your later years. and look at the power of cumulative effect. Because finally, it's not about revolutions, but it's an accumulation of small choice day after day. For me, it started with our complete longevity breakfast and immediately I had fibers, vitamins and minerals, as Jane explained. Then the omega-3 arrived that I have been using from 30 years. Then our collagen, which I take every daily day, 5 grams per day. And more recently, creatine plus, which I take daily to maintain my muscle. So look, all these adjustments accumulate over time, day after day, mean that as I approach my 70, I feel more energetic today than I did at 34. And look the picture on the left. Between the two photos, there is half a century. Imagine if you take care of yourself. So have a look of the market of longevity. And this is only the French numbers. But in French, people age 55 and over represent 44% of the adult population. 45 of pension are less than 1,200. 2 million isolated seniors in France. 68% of seniors take supplements, and 41% of people age 50 and over do not participate at any sport. So, with why Herbalife with this number? If you can put the yes, why Herbalife? Our products support healthy aging, energy, and weight management. And trust me, we are simply the best, number one with our products. Flexible business, positive, supportive, health-focused community, sense of purpose, helping others create healthier lives, and supplemental income or more. So, Sylvia and Joe, let me tell you about Sylvia and Joe's story. This couple joined Herbalife in their 40s. Both were civil servants, parents of 3 boys, but after paying house and bills, they had nothing left for leisure or vacations. Sylvie was always tired, and Joe on the verge of burnout. Herbalife changed their lives, their physical results, and the results they have built around them, led them to leave their jobs and become financially independent through our Herbalife business. 10 years later, they are fitter and financially free to support their sons, travel the world, and qualified for all Herbalife vacation. And what about Janine? Janine, after her divorce, found herself alone with a pension of realized €270. Imagine, without Herbalife, she would have had to sell her house. At the beginning, she didn't feel competent to develop the business. But her fitness and weight loss result and her desire to share them made the difference. She rediscovered her youthfulness, vitality, and the positive energy of a wonderful community, as well as financial freedom. And she also qualified for all Herbalife vacation. So our business is simple, fun, and magical. You just have to create your own results, participate in a supportive community, help others create a healthier and more fulfilling life. Join as a member and as Jane explained, purchase your products with a discount and earn a supplemental income or more. And why not you? That's the result of the last 3 months. These three women have reached the maximum discount. Anita has lost 21 kilos. She cares for her husband, very ill, and the positive energy of Herbalife helps her every day. And the income she earns from Herbalife allows her to support her son. Valerie has been divorced for over 20 years. She lost 11 kilos with Herbalife. Join a positive team, helps her daughters, and her objective is to travel and also qualified for Herbalife vacations. And what about Janine? She is 80 years old, had lost 7 kilos, and rediscovered her youth and started a new life. So why not you? And why not now? Look, it's never too late to start something meaningful. Improve health, energy, and confidence. More freedom at any age. Join a positive community around you, helping others transform their lives. Scalable, part-time or full-time. Flexibility to work anywhere, anytime, and you are not alone. We help you. So the question, why not now?
Thank you very much, Mickey. What a fantastic, simple, clear explanation of what purpose can do for a human being. And let me tell you, you don't look anywhere near your age, just like everybody else. So what can I say? I can only say thank you to every speaker and all of you for being on this call. But if I had to go and quickly touch on some of the key points, well, we heard Luigi just gave us a picture of what is actually happening with population sort of overall, and what does that mean over time, and what can be done about it from a doctor's perspective. We heard about Amartad, who, again, attitude. He made it very clear. It's about you. You make the decision. What an example. I mean, I've known Amartad for a number of years. To me, he looks the same. When I talk to him, he's like the guy I met 36 years ago. It's unbelievable. Jane, thank you so much, because you gave us some clarity on what the products that we have can actually do. And all it takes is start to try them and you'll see the results. And again, Mickey, thank you again for that strong message. Think about all those people we all know, parents, relatives, friends, who are struggling, because that's the truth. They're struggling. And I just wanted to remind you, because I've just finished here a big convention, and we talked a lot about longevity and health. And, you know, the aging population in Europe is one of the largest populations. This continent is aging very quickly. There's a huge amount of aging population in this continent that definitely needs help, whether it's financially, whether it's to take care of themselves. So this has been our very first healthy longevity workshop. What an opportunity. Think about the huge opportunity we have to help so many people, whether it's with their health and nutrition, whether it's with their financial situation. Think about parents. If you're a parent, about your children. If you're a children, you have parents. We can help each other to become independent financially, but independent on looking after themselves, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Now, I can only say it's up to you. You need to take the next step, whatever it is. We're going to invite you to get in touch with the person who invited you to be on this call and ask them about how can you get a free wellness evaluation. That's a conversation. You're going to learn a lot of things, and that will help you decide which direction you want to take so that you can decide what more do I need to know about what products. And if you're interested, you can also find out more about our business opportunity, because literally we're just getting started. And the opportunity, as I said, and it's been mentioned by all of them, is huge. So next call, write this down. We're going to have our next workshop, Healthy Longevity Workshop, on the 16th of June. And what I would suggest to you is, how many people are you going to help? You can get all of them to come onto this call and, just like you, get the information, get the facts, learn something that you can do for yourself and your family. And we all thank you very much for being on the call. It's been a great pleasure for me. Thank you guys, all the speakers. You've done an amazing job. You've inspired me once more. And we look forward to meeting all of you somewhere around the world, and have a very, very healthy, happy day. Bye for now.
I call you, I need you, my heart's on